everybody. Once again, we're updating our channel from the road, from the driver's seat, driving down the road. We've got a lonely stretch of a couple miles to go here on our journey tonight, so thought I'd pipe in with an update and some stories about the road. I think some interesting stories, so I'll tell you about those in a second. We got some, I'm trying to drive, so, and I have the potential for deer out front, so having these lights on isn't the greatest thing, so we'll see what we do here. I'm about to pass some 18-wheelers up ahead, and I'll probably dim the lights as I pass them, so get ready for some stories in the dark. Okay, so, where do I start? I didn't really update in the last few days because I was in Canada, and one thing to know about, think long and hard about getting a gig that promises you extra miles because you're going to go in and out of Canada. I'm not so sure it's the best thing. I think the positive is it keeps you running, and that's good. But every time you cross the border, there's a hassle. And getting into Canada, your phone can play games with you, which mine was doing. Suddenly it throttled back. It wouldn't upload anything. It was just really slow because it roams. And I have unlimited data in the States, but as soon as you get into Canada roaming, if you have too much data usage, they throttle you right back. It's ridiculous. So, that and gas prices are ridiculous. You're paying almost $4 a gallon when it's under $2.50 in the States. So that's ridiculous. So there's definitely a lower value to running through Canada. Let me tell you about Canada a little bit more, and the moral of the story from there. I got the van kind of stuck in the snow. And it's somewhat of a field, I'll tell you about that. And the moral of the story will be like, get ready to improvise, get ready to have some other skills handy with you if you want to, be successful at this job and not have to, just call on people at ridiculous hours to come and bail you out. So, my delivery was to deliver to the St. Catharines engine plant, at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock Monday morning. But I'd had the load all weekend, and I had the opportunity to go home. I don't live too far from St. Catharines, Ontario, so I decided that I would leave on Sunday instead of trying to get there overnight into the early morning hours. They open at Sunday night. I don't know why a fucking cop would sit there with his goddamn lights in your eyes. That's ridiculous. Anyways, I'd report a smoky one. That was probably helpful for me to have my radio on at that time to get the smoky alert. But there hasn't been one this whole way. It's funny, as soon as I started making the video, I started getting, there was an empty highway. Now I've got traffic and Smokey the Bear and the meat and all that stuff. But anyways, as I was saying, I had the opportunity to deliver to the St. Catharines plant. They open at 11 o'clock Sunday night. So I was waiting in line at the gate, got in, got the delivery done. There was a little hassle at the plant. Another one where it's like, they tell you, they wonder why you're delivering what you're delivering because they already got 8 million of them. So, I don't know, I just told them, hey, it gave me a job, so what the hell, right? Anyways, I get out of there, and my move was to basically get out of St. Catharines, head over to Hamilton, Ontario, because that would position me for really well for an area-wide delivery where my pickup was probably going to be anywhere from Mississauga over to Brantford, maybe London or Woodstock, Ontario, Guelph, Ontario. All those areas, Hamilton was a nice starting point. So I was in Hamilton. I actually switched over to Burlington during the day because I wanted to go to a bookstore, then a library. But anyways, not anything you guys are really care about. On the way out of and I needed a 24-hour place to park that was kind of quiet. There's not a lot of flying J's or truck stops near there. So my choices are basically like a fitness area. And, but I didn't know like was, and I sort of felt like I was going to be lazy and maybe not drive over to Hamilton, just drive there in the morning and just get some sleep. It was already about midnight. I'd been up all day. I just really wanted to just camp out and sleep at that moment of exiting the St. Catharines General Motors engine plant, which was very cool, by the way, seeing all them V8 engines ready for hot rods. Some Camaro and truck V8 engines all in that plant, plus some V6s, but all I saw were V8s. But anyways, I had this unwise idea, which I thought was wise at the time, to ask the security guard at the gate if there was any good places to sleep nearby, mistakenly thinking that he would know what a trucker needs: a 24-hour place, a place with a paved parking lot, a good quiet supermarket parking lot, some kind of place where truckers will go, a Walmart nearby. But his suggestion was, sure, there's a grassy parking lot across the road, and perhaps some trucks do park there, who knows. So I got to the end of their driveway and I saw the empty parking lot across the street. I said, all right, let me head in there. Looks really quiet, looks really dark, so that might be ideal. So I drove into there, it was covered in a thick layer of snow. Let me give you the idea of the night. By the way, it had been snowing, really heavy, wet snow, because the temperature was up around the freezing point, which was a good thing. Up above the freezing point, it was like 34 to 36 degrees, but still snowing because we're so close to the lake there, Niagara Falls and everything. So they're always getting moisture and precipitation out in Buffalo, St. Catharines area. So anyways, Niagara Falls kind of deal. I get into that parking zone and I notice that there's a bunch of circular tire tracks, and my thoughts are that 18-wheelers are going to try to get in there and want to turn around. It looked like maybe a spot that they turned around because the plant was getting a lot of 18-wheeler traffic. So I thought, I don't want to be, bothered in the middle of the night by some stuck 18-wheeler trying to swing around, wanting me to move. So let me kind of park somewhere off of these tracks. Bad move, Batman. Little did I know that wasn't even a paved lot. It was just hopeless gravel with a grassy edge. And as I moved off the tire tracks, I went right into the grass. So now I'm in soft grass, covered in a slushy snow, on top of mucky wet ground. What do you think happened next? The van got stuck. And then all of a sudden it wasn't moving forward, and the back end there was no weight in the back. So these vans are really light. It's got these crappy factory summer tires, basically not even half worn down, so no longer qualifying to be in any kind of slippery condition. So next thing you know, they're just fucking spinning on the ice while the front right tire is kind of halfway buried in the muck. So now I got a problem. It's 12 midnight. I'm stuck in the snow. There's going to be no way anyone is nearby to help me, come and push me or anything like that. So I'm basically on my own to try to get this van out of there. And I know that if I don't get it out of there quick, if I don't start doing something to try to get it out, the longer it sits there, the more it's going to sink and be stuck and be a pain in the fucking ass. So I got lucky, and two of my skills paid off. One is my skill of improvising with tools, and the other is my skill of knowing how to rock a car out of a stuck position, not killing the mechanicals of the car. Some people understand that you go forward and you go reverse, you go forward and reverse, but they just shift gears, not thinking about what's happening to the car, and the transmission is slamming from forward into reverse. You're killing your drive shaft, your U-joints. your motor mounts, your transmission mount, all that shit is getting stressed when you try to rock a car out. You've got to put it in your gear, bring it, let's say you try to go and drive. You just go and drive until it won't go in, it won't move anymore, and you lock the brake down. And you don't let the thing move backwards. So you've got tension going forward. You shift it into reverse and give it a moment for all the mechanicals to switch into reverse. So you're not slamming the U-joint in the back or inside the internals of the transmission. So once you know the thing is ready in reverse, you release the brake and jam the gas. And you try to get like a half inch back, because that'll start widening your path, and you lock it to the back. So it's got some spring. It wants to spring forward when you leave the brakes anyways, without even having to hit the gas. So you keep doing that. So you keep on locking the brakes, so you build up that pressure to go in the opposite direction, and that starts working the area around your wheels, so it gets more and more ability to move, and you eventually break free. Well, that wasn't working, because the rear tires began to hopelessly spin on the ice, and the front tire was kind of sinking down, buried. So I knew it was the right front tire that wasn't allowing the rear tires to get traction. Couple things. I remember that there was a traction control button on the van, so I shut the traction control down so the van would get full power to hopefully both rear wheels. I tried operating the handbrake at first so I could get both rear wheels to move, because sometimes operating the brake will trick the rear differential. If you only got one wheel spin, you can get both wheels to spin if you give a little friction to the one that's trying to spin all the time. That didn't really do anything. So I knew that I kind of had to get the tire unstuck, but what did I have? I don't have a shovel. So I opened the door, and here came my ability to improvise. I said, well, the next closest thing I have is this 2x6 that we use to keep the freight from sliding around. So I grabbed the 2x6 and walked up to the front tire and just started jamming the end of it. First of all, I laid it down behind the rear tire, thinking I could maybe get a grip by having the rear tire climb up on the board, and that just didn't do anything. So that's when I got out, and I started jamming the snow in front of the front tire with the edge of the board. And sure enough, it started to move. This is where I was really happy that the ground was not frozen, because it all was like muck that moved away really easy, and I made an actual, instead of a high spot in front of the tire, I got a low spot, so it would have the proclivity to want to roll off its perch and into the new area forward. Plus, as I got down, I kind of reached some gravel, so that would give it some grip. That was more important at the rear tires. Anyways, I did the same thing behind the front tire, so I had a pathway of a good foot front and back of the front tire. I did the same thing to the rear tires, and that's where I started, the rocking began to give me about 6 inches forward, 6 inches backwards, then a foot forward, a foot backwards, and then 2 feet, and then it started to finally move out of that rut. I quickly steered it out of the grass that I ended up in, got it onto the rocky area, which still was spinning like crazy. It wouldn't even get to the entrance. I had to lock the steering wheel and just keep the back end floored, and it drifted to the front where I needed it to be, and finally got traction near the exit, and I got the hell out of there. Wiping my brow, problem averted. In the middle of the night, I got the van unstuck all by myself. I was amazed. I was happy. I got the hell out of there, just counting my lucky stars. So that was my big deal for the weekend last night. And then from there, I found a fitness area. I went to then I Googled like where the hell I was going to drive to. I found out that Hamilton was really only a 35-minute drive, so that wasn't really too bad at that time in the morning. Better than a few hours ago on tonight's run, which is an all-night run. I'll tell you about that in a second. Anyways, I got to the the fitness area, and it was a fitness club, had a nice parking lot around the back. I ended up finding a little spot in the corner. There were no signs telling me I couldn't park there. It was already midnight. I was only going to be there a few hours till 7 in the morning anyways. I shut down, hopped in the back, and no one knew the wiser. Looked like just another van parked with someone inside the club. So I got my good night's sleep. A reasonably good night's sleep. Wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. I had enough gas to run the heater all night, so that was good. And in the morning I woke up and eventually made my way to the library, where I was kind of feeling a little drowsy, and then started to think, if they call me, I could get an all-night run. And they called me, and I got an all-night run. So, it would have been better to kind of sit in the van and sleep during the afternoon too, but you never know. I might have ended up sleeping and missing the library then. So, you just don't know what the hell to do sometimes. So get ready for that on this job. And so I got dispatched. I was pretty happy. I could add another 700 miles to the week. It's not great pay on its own, but it'll add up to in my paycheck to be something reasonably meaningful. And from there, I'm on my way. Now that's where I am now. I'm on that journey. Nice, easy, one crate, 300 pounds of just some little metal pieces in the back. So when I get there, I can drag it to the edge by hand. I don't have to get the tow rope out. It should be really easy for the forklift to come and pop it out of the bag. Quick signature, and I should be out of there tomorrow morning. Looks like I'll be arriving on time. 7 a.m. is the time. I'll be getting there at 6. And I was able to take a little, I took about a half-hour nap around 11:30. I wasn't staying awake behind the wheel. It was getting dicey, so I stopped in a rest area, got a quick nap, and I felt better ever since. You can hear it in my voice, though. My voice is cracking. But I felt better ever since, so here I am driving. I think I have about 3.5 hours left, which is nice. So, that being said, I should be able to get to get to the end of the road here pretty quick and be on my way unloaded. And then it'll be about just getting some sleep wherever I can. It's going to be daytime. The problem is, what's going to happen is when it gets to an overnight where I deliver at 7 a.m., once the sun comes up, I feel like I got my day's energy again. I'm a morning person, so my body doesn't go into sleep right there because it doesn't. I try not to reverse my sleep schedule. So I end up wanting to stay up, but if they give me an overnight run, I'm going to be really hurting tomorrow night, so I'll have to get some kind of sleep. I'll probably only get 5 hours before I get up and want to do something. I was supposed to get diesel fuel at the last stop, and I didn't, so I probably got enough to run it for one more night, but I don't want to, or at least one more shift. 1 gallon lasts me about 6 hours on high. I don't want to I like to always have 1 gallon unused and use the 2 other gallons that I fill up, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with that. It's already been 20 minutes, so I hope you enjoyed the Stuck in the Snow update, and we'll give you a new update sometime tomorrow whenever we're bored and we need to talk and get 20 miles of driving out of the way. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate all the views and all the comments I get. Alan, everything that you comment on and help me out with is really appreciated. And all my other subscribers, my other 5 subscribers. Hopefully more someday, but we'll see. Maybe if I turn this into a van life title, that'll get more views because that's popular. And this is pretty much van life, where living out on the road in a van. I have a job, though, that I work, but it's kind of similar. So, okay, have a good day. Bye.